Hello friend, I'm Laia. Welcome to this yoga class for athletes to boost recovery. This is a class for anyone that maybe after a workout or on your rest day, you want to spend some time on your yoga mat, taking care of your whole body, finding a little bit of stretch and a little bit of relaxation so that you can recover quicker and get back to your workout or to your sport stronger, more grounded, and more energized. So bring yourself to a seated position. You can sit however you want. And take a moment to maybe wiggle out, roll your shoulders, lengthen your spine. And eventually soften your gaze down or close your eyes just for a moment. Taking a deep breath in through the nose. And out through the nose or the mouth. One more just like that. Inhale, letting the belly, the rib cage, and the chest expand. Let it go. On your next inhalation, reach your arms out and up. And as you exhale, bend at the elbows and let your hands catch either opposite wrists or opposite elbows, creating a frame around your head. Inhale to lengthen a little bit more. Exhale, lean a little bit toward the left, open the right side of the body, and maybe look to the right. Ground evenly through both sitting bones and find a little bit more space between each rib. One more breath. Inhale, coming back through center, find length. Exhale, this time lean to the right, open the left side body, maybe look a little bit to the left. And breathe here, noticing how you feel, how you arrive into this practice. Come back through center as you inhale, release your elbows, stretch your arms all the way up. And on your exhalation, flip your palms outward and lower your hands all the way down, bringing your fingertips to the ground next to you. Or perhaps you rest your hands on your knees. Lengthen through the spine again, breathe in. And as you breathe out, bring your right ear to the right shoulder. And stay here or lift and lower your chin a couple of times, noticing what happens and how it feels. One more breath here. And then slowly pause the movement, bring your neck to neutral, find length, inhale. Exhale, take the left ear to the left shoulder, stretch to the right side of the neck, staying here, or lifting your chin up and down a couple of times. Notice your breath, inhale. Exhale. Bring your neck back to center, reach your arms all the way up, deep breath in, palms unite overhead. And on your exhalation, interlace your hands and draw your elbows down in front of you. Notice the difference between keeping your elbows separate or drawing them together. Yeah, notice if your shoulders lift up, roll them back and down. And then start to move your wrists here either in circles or circle eights. Maybe one's more challenging to the brain than the other, so choose what works for you right now. Breathe in. Breathe out. Pause and switch directions. Inhale. Exhale. Release your fingertips, open your hands out to the sides. Inhale, take your chest forward, bend your elbows slightly back, shoulder blades toward one another. Exhale, take your arms forward and round your back. Two more like that. Inhale, open up through the arms, lift the chest. Exhale, arms forward, round your back, look down. One more, breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, open up through your arms. Stretch out from fingertips to fingertips. And then start to rotate your thumbs back and your pinkies forward. Exhale, rotate forward and down, creating internal rotation with the arms. Inhale, flip it up, external rotation. Exhale, rotate forward and down, internal rotation. One more, breathe in. Breathe out. Flip your palms to face up toward the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, bend your elbows and take your hands toward the shoulders. They don't have to necessarily touch. Perhaps they're floating. That's totally fine. And then take a few circles here with your elbows, letting the movement be as big or as small as you want it to be. utilizing your range of motion. But really let your breath be what guides the speed. Pause, inhale. Exhale, switch directions with your circles. One more breath, inhale. And on your exhale, release the arms, bring them all the way down. Lean back for a moment. Bring your feet in front of you a little bit wider than your hips. And then move your knees gently from one side to the other. You can do that with the hands on the ground, or you could also take your hands off the floor and kind of take the arms opposite the legs. One will be more strengthening, the other one will be more relaxing. So choose what you want. Couple more breaths here. And then slowly pause at the center. Bring your feet in front of you, parallel to one another. Toes point forward. And your hands right underneath your shoulders. Fingertips could face toward your feet. Or you could also rotate your hand back until you find what feels best for your shoulders. Press down through the feet and through the palms and lift your chest and your gaze. And this is a great place to stay. Or perhaps you lift your hips off the floor as you keep your gaze forward. Lift as high as feels good. Continue to press down through the feet and the hands, noticing what arises. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more, breathe in. And as you breathe out, slowly lower your hips down toward the floor. Allow the feet to remain where they are, so about hips distance, and draw your knees wide to the sides. Lift your chest up, press through the palms again. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, slowly let your chest go forward as long as possible. And your hands could stay behind you or come in front of you. Relax your head down for a moment. You can stay in stillness or let yourself wave a little bit side to side. One more breath. And then slowly pause the movement and press yourself back up. Draw the knees toward one another. Slide your hands, your legs behind you. And bring yourself to hands and knees, a tabletop position. Knees about hips distance apart and hands underneath your shoulders. And then start to flip your right palm. So you bring the back of the hand to the floor and your fingertips will face toward your right knee. And you could do one hand at a time, a few breaths, or you could do both hands. And you can be in stillness, or maybe you take a couple of circles here with your shoulders around the wrists one way. And then the other. If you're doing one hand at a time, make sure that you switch. Couple more breaths. And then slowly bringing your palms to a neutral position right underneath your shoulders. Spread your fingers wide. You can keep your toes pointed back or tuck them under. On your inhalation, start to lift your tailbone, dip your belly, and look forward or up. Exhale, round your back and gaze down. Two more like that. Inhale, arc. Open up through the front body. Exhale, round. Last one. Breathe in. And breathe out. Bring your spine to neutral again. And if your toes aren't tucked yet, tuck them under. And then slide your hips back toward the heels until you find sensation through the soles of the feet and perhaps the thighs as well. You could also walk your hands up toward the thighs. And just give yourself a moment here to breathe as you feel a stretch on the feet. Let your shoulders relax. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Bring your hands toward the earth again. Shift forward and lift your toes. And maybe you tap them on the floor to let go of the sensation. Or you could also circle your ankles one way and the other. Breathe in. And breathe out. Bring the tops of the feet to the floor. Find yourself evenly grounded between your hands and your knees. And on your inhalation, take your right leg behind you. Keep your toes on the ground for a moment and press back through the right heel. You could stay here, or maybe you lift your left knee off the floor and then you press back a bit more, but keep your hips low, yeah? But again, if you want it to be a little bit more restorative, keep your left shin on the ground. One more breath. Inhale. And exhale. If your shin is lifted, lower it down. And on your inhalation, hover your right toes off the floor. Exhale, draw your right knee toward your right wrist or elbow. And then bring your right foot to the outside of the hand. For some of us, you may want to grab your ankle with your hand and slide it forward. And then for a moment, tuck your left toes under, lift your left knee, and slide your left foot slightly back. You could stay with your knee lifted and move back and forth, or you could lower your knee to the ground and maybe come up to your fingertips. Wherever you are, breathe. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale. If your left knee is up, lower it down. Now bring your left hand a little further out to the left. Pivot your right toes slightly to the right. Inhale to lift your chest. And exhale, twist your body to the right. Maybe you stay here, or your right hand could come to your inner right thigh and help you twist a little bit deeper. You could even come to the outer edge of your right foot. Lift your chest, lift your gaze a little bit up and back. If you'd like a quad stretch, start to bend your left knee and notice the sensation that arises. This may be sufficient for a lot of us. Perhaps you take your right hand to the outer edge, so the pinky side of your left foot. But notice if that makes your hips lift. That's not really the intention. Keep your hips low. One more breath wherever you are. Inhale. And on your exhalation, if you grab your left foot, slowly let it go without letting it slingshot. Cartwheel both hands down to the inside of your right foot. Point your right toes forward. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, bring your right leg behind you. Bring your big toes to touch. Separate your knees and send your hips back toward the heels. Now here, I invite you to cross your right wrist over the left, or the right elbow over the left, and then slowly come down. Adding a little bit of a shoulder stretch here in our child's pose. One more breath. And then slowly press yourself up and cross the arms and come back to your tabletop position. On your inhalation, take your left toes behind you, press them down onto the ground and reach back through the heel, keeping your right knee on the floor or lifting it. Maybe you move a little bit back and forth in either choice, or maybe you remain in stillness. One more breath. Inhale and exhale. If your right shin is off the floor, bring it back down. Hover your left toes. Inhale. Exhale, left knee to your left elbow or wrist. And then plant your left foot on the outside of the left hand. Slide it as forward as you need. And then lifting your right knee, slide it back. Slide the right leg back. And perhaps you stay with the knee lifted, or you lower it down as you take a couple of breaths here, noticing the sensations and perhaps letting some of the tension accumulated release, soften. Even if it's 1%. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale, lower your right knee to the ground. Right hand comes a little bit further out to the right. Pivot your left toes out to the left. Breathe in. Breathe out, take a twist toward the left a little bit. Left hand to your inner thigh to promote this twist. Maybe you come to the outer edge of the left foot. And consider that one side and the other, they may need different things. So can you allow space for that? Yeah? If you want to introduce that quad stretch, notice if you need it first. And then perhaps on your inhalation, you bend your right knee. Perhaps you stay, or perhaps you take your left hand to catch the outer side of your right foot. Breathe wherever you are. One more. Inhale. And on your exhalation, if you grab the foot, slowly release it. Take both hands down to the ground on the inside of the left foot. Turn your left toes forward. Inhale. Exhale, take your left leg next to the right. Big toes together, knees wide. And this time, cross your left wrist over the right as you take your hips back toward the heels. Crossing at the wrists or at the elbows. Maybe your chin or your forehead come down to the arms. Take a moment to notice how this feels in your body. One more breath. And then slowly lift yourself up to uncross the wrists. Press yourself forward. Allow your toes to point back once again. And now walk your hands just about a handprint forward. Grip through your fingertips. Tuck your toes under. Inhale. And as you exhale, first crouch back and then start to lift your knees off the floor as you come to downward facing dog, which is this inverted V position. Keep your knees as bent as you want. to create a nice, strong, stretchy line from your fingertips through the arms, the spine, all the way up to the hips. Maybe you pedal out your legs for a moment, bending one knee and extending the opposite heel. One more breath. Inhale and exhale. Now ground through your hands and onto your left leg. And as you inhale, start to float your right toes up and back. They don't have to go very high. Keep your hips square. Exhale, bring your right knee toward your chest. Shift your weight forward, float. And then bring your right foot in between your hands this time. Lower your left knee down to the ground and lift your chest. Inhale. And on your exhalation, hinge at the hips and extend through your right leg as little or as much as you want. You could stay in stillness or move back and forth. Inhale to go forward. Exhale to go back. Really noticing where you find the stretch and letting yourself feel a little bit of goodness and softening. Perhaps one more time to inhale forward. And exhale back. Now on your next inhalation, start to walk your hands back and then slowly lower yourself to the inner, to your inner left leg. So your right glute is on the floor and your left leg will be bent behind you, yeah? On your inhalation, lift your chest. And on the exhalation, maybe you take your hands behind you, notice what happens and just readjust yourself. Perhaps you come down to your elbows. Press down through your hips, lift your chest a little. Some folks may come all the way down to the back, but that's not necessary. A lot of times when that happens, you may lift your left hip. Try to keep both sitting bones evenly on the floor. One more breath. Inhale and exhale. If you leaned back, start to press yourself back up. Lean a little bit to the right. Bring your left leg around. Extend both legs in front of you. Reach both arms up as you ground through the sitting bones. Inhale. Exhale, slowly lean forward, forward, forward. It's not so much about bringing your forehead to the knees, but about reaching forward toward the toes. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lower your hands to the ground. Sweep your legs around and come back to downward facing dog. Taking your time to get there. There's no rush. Breathe in. Breathe out. Left leg lifts up this time. Inhale. Exhale, bring your left knee to the nose, shift your weight forward, shoulders over your wrists, and then step your left foot between your hands, lower your right knee down. Take a moment to find your low lunge, notice how it feels. Inhale. Exhale, hinge at the hips, extend your left leg as little or as much as feels good. You could stay there or shift back and forth, breathing in and out. Inhaling to go forward, exhaling to go back. One more, breathe in and breathe out. Now start to walk your hands back, walk yourself back and sit on the inside of your right foot, keeping your left leg extended in front of you. Perhaps this is plenty of sensation for some of us, so feel free to stay. And again, different sides may need different things. Or maybe you start to let your hands go back. Notice what happens when you do that. Maybe your elbows come down to the floor, but again, try to keep both sitting bones on the earth. And breathe. One more breath. And on your next inhalation, if you went back, slowly press yourself forward. Lean a little bit to the left to allow the right leg to come around. Stretch both legs in front of you, ground through the sitting bones, flex your feet. Inhale, reach your arms straight up toward the sky, toward the ceiling. Exhale, lean forward, 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 stretching the fingertips past your toes. Find more length, breathe in. And as you breathe out this time, let your hands fall onto the floor wherever they fall, your elbows soften, and then your head can relax down. Breathe. One more breath. And then on your next inhalation, slowly press yourself up. Bring your knees toward your chest for a moment. Maybe you let yourself sway side to side. And then slide your left leg in front of you. Find a nice, good, stable seat. And grab your right foot with your left hand and your right knee with your right hand. And just let yourself sway a little bit side to side here. Notice the difference between flexing the foot or leaving it limp. You could also bring your foot, your right foot, to the left elbow, but make sure that you keep your spine long as you do this. Just gently rocking side to side. One more breath here. Inhale. And on your exhalation, pause the movement and allow your right foot to land right in front of your left shin. Lengthen your spine to breathe in. And as you breathe out, twist to the right. And breathe. One more breath. And on your next inhalation, come back through center, lean back for a moment, and switch legs. So this time your right leg is going to be your stable leg at the bottom. And then grab your left foot with your right hand and your left knee with your left hand. And then maybe move side to side here, or you could bring it up to the elbow and see what happens. Breathe. One more breath here. Inhale and exhale. Lower your left foot in front of the right shin. Lengthen through the spine as you hug in your left knee. Inhale. Exhale, twist to the left and breathe. One more breath here. Inhale and exhale. Bring yourself back to neutral. Find a comfortable seat, or you could also lie down just for the next few breaths to really signal to your body that it's time to let go, to relax, and to release after this practice. So I invite you, whatever shape you choose, to soften your gaze or close your eyes. And just let yourself get just a little bit more comfortable. Occupy a little bit more space than you think you deserve. And then take a deep, deep breath in through your nose, deepest breath you've taken all day. Letting it expand front to back, side to side, top to bottom. Hold. Take another sip. And sigh it out. And as you notice how you feel, I invite you to say something nice to yourself, something you did today you're proud of, something you accomplished, maybe something you didn't do today you're proud of. Give yourself a little bit of gratitude for the journey traveled, for the choices you make. Deep breath in. Let it go. Once you're ready, you can open your eyes if you close them. You can sit up if you're lying down. And you may continue with your day. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope you've enjoyed this gentle yoga class for athletes to boost recovery and to help you find a little bit more balance. If you've enjoyed this class, you could try these as well. And I look forward to practicing with you again soon. Take care.